Perez. Walter makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello, and welcome to a Bergkamp Wonderland, an Arsenal podcast. I'm here with Danny, and we're here to discuss the 5-0 victory at home against Wolverhampton Wanderers for the final game of the season, which confirms us in second position, which we already knew, but only 6 points behind City as they lose the final game of the season against Brentford, who do the double against them, by the way. They did the double against them this season, one of the only teams to beat them. But anyway, we've just finished a 2+ hour watch-along of the game, and everybody jumped in there. So if everybody moving over here, thank you very, very much. But Danny, how are you? How have you been? And how was the game overall, watching it with all the emotion around it?
It was enjoyable. You and Stan and me had a good old chit chat. There's a load of people watching on Twitter. There's 23 at the moment. Hello, everybody watching on Twitter. Feel free to retweet it and share with your fellow Gooners on this glorious day. And hello to all 11 of you watching on YouTube at the moment. Shame there's not more, but never mind. I'll summarise the game in a few words. Wolverhampton Wanderers' defence wandered away and let us score goals. And Eddie could have had a couple, but Eddie is useless.
He's poo.
And it was the last time we're ever going to see ESR and Xhaka and Big Bob Holding and I don't know. Is there any others that I've missed?
Tierney.
Big KT.
Big KT.
Very, very sad about that.
Hopefully
Wonderful
Eddie.
player.
Hopefully Eddie and Partey too. And
hopefully Eddie and Partey. Yeah.
I think
changes.
I can't remember who said it. I can't remember who said it, but they said that there was like 13 to 14 names that could potentially go this summer. Big changes. And it was worked out to be over £700,000 worth of wages burnt back into the squad that we can invest into first team opportunity of players that can do the business in first team football. Because we've got the core of we've got a squad. We need first team players to jump in and compete for those spots. But anyway, let's say hello to some people that have jumped in. Super appreciated, because it was a game that really didn't have anything going. Really, we weren't going to move from second to first or second to third. Wolves have already been, saved, and they didn't really give a damn. So thanks to everyone that's jumped in. So let's say hello to some people.
Yes, the offspring has just come home, so she's really going to come in and abuse me. It's her birthday tomorrow, so if people want to say anything nice to her, I wouldn't bother. Super has got to have a wee. Phil has just realised he's watching the wrong show. Foot has come in and been as negative as always. Boy 10 is back again. Tom Andrew, hello, is there. Luan Carlos, what an emotional game. Good to see the lads doing a great job. An outstanding farewell to Granit too. It's all hope for next season. Let Edu cook. Cheers from Brazil, my friends.
Nice.
I am a Corinthians fan, and I have been since 1999, and we're not very good at the moment. Loki is there. See Zach Xhaka. Oh well. Mad Rambo is there. Pepe. Oh god, yeah.
Oh please.
And Super says out in the sun grilling hot dogs, and why not?
That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm talking about.
Suitcase.
I'm doing a live show, dear. You shut your trap. You're going to get yourself in a half Nelson. We got a question there from Phil.
Yep, we'll save
for later.
We'll
but the show's only going to be about 10-15 minutes ish if you lot get on with it.
Yeah, we're not going to do a very, very long podcast. We kind of wanted to just kind of jump over here and show face and just say thanks to everybody that's jumped in every single post-game podcast with myself and Danny. Obviously, all the other podcasts as well, the preview podcast, as well as the regular scheduled podcasts and the Sunday Roast podcast. Me and Danny, hopefully we can, get in the kitchen and do some cooking and hopefully come up with some cool, interesting things for you during the summer, during the transfer stuff, as well as, some maybe late night stuff and some uncut stuff, and we'll see what happens. But we'll have some fun. We'll come up with some ideas, and we'll see if we can cook something in the kitchen, as I said. So, but yeah, just wanted to say thank you to all of you. You're all freaking awesome. joining in all the podcasts. It's been a roller coaster of the last few months. It's been a fantastic season, sitting at the top of the table for, 248 days that we sat at the top of the table. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be for us this season. But as I will reiterate over and over again, we went toe-to-toe with Manchester City, probably one of their best teams that they ever had, with a robot T1000 up front in Erling Haaland, and doing a 4-0 victory over Real Madrid, going on to win the treble in the FA Cup against United and against Inter in the Champions League final, which, if you are a betting man, it's going to be a big goal-scoring game from City. I can assure you of that. Holy Jesus. It's going to be like a testimonial. We'll see what happens, though. We can all hope and pray, but I can't see it happening. So, but we went toe-to-toe with them, and we're in sight of an incredible summer from Arsenal. We're going to go in big. Hopefully, we can get rid of some players that we are now outgrown, and we can go and bring in some players like Declan Rice, Caicedo, rumoured to be playing at right back for Arsenal, inverted wing back. I love that idea as a football manager man myself. Looking at the possibility of maybe an attacking player, another centre back. Mason Mount's been rumoured, probably one of the best attacking defensive players on the planet, kind of like a Gabriel Jesus, but sits slightly further back. His stats, I know that he's not played very well over the last few years, but his stats prove to him being one of the best sort of attacking players out there. So, and if Arteta likes him, I like him. But Danny, I digress. Let's talk about the lineup. What have we got? So, what do we have? Ramsdale. We had Partey playing right back. We had Ben White playing right centre back, Gabriel. And we had Kivior playing at left back, which kind of told you everything you need to know about Kieran Tierney's career with Arsenal. I think that's kind of done and dusted now. With Zinchenko not being in the side due to injury, it very much looked like Kieran Tierney was going to have basically, the run of the games in the final games of the season. Even I do fantasy football. I don't know if anybody of you do fantasy football, but everybody kind of knew, or assumed anyway, that Kieran Tierney was going to be a shoehorn for this particular fixture. Ended up not being the case. We had Jorginho, Xhaka, Odegaard midfield. Once again, Jorginho keeping his spot over Partey, but Partey playing at right back. And then we had Trossard, Gabriel Jesus, and Saka to play again, considering that he could probably deserved a rest. But Danny, what did you make of the lineup that Arsenal produced? Obviously, we saw Partey play right back, and we saw Saka play his 90 millionth game, and then we had Kivior playing left back.
Well, playing our best players means that we had a nice 5-0 win. Nice day for us. Nice final game of the season. Helps our goal difference, because that is now 45 is our third best ever Premier League goal difference, which is important.
Agreed.
Just made a good day for us. I reckon if we'd have played all the players that I'd have wanted, like this is the lineup that I picked last night: Turner in goal, Tierney left back, Ben White right back, so we had no choice, Kivior and Holding at the back, midfield three of Vieira, Jorginho and Smith Rowe, then Nelson left wing, Eddie up front, and right wing Cozy Dubre, but the team didn't have him. Oh, we wouldn't have won 5-0. It wouldn't have been
Danny, that's stressing me out, that picture that you just put up, because you've got Holding playing left centre back and you've got Kivior playing right centre back.
Oh, it's because the site that I was using, you don't know which one of the two it's going to put it in until you put the person in, and then you have to cut and paste it again, and then put the person's name in again. I could be black.
I don't have OCD, Danny, but you're giving me symptoms. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, Kieran Tierney gone.
Yeah, sad, but it isn't going to work in the system, is it?
No. Xhaka as well. It's his final game of his Arsenal career. He's not going to be playing for us anymore. And what a finale to finish things off with. Had a chance to get his hat-trick, got himself a brace. ESR, last game in an Arsenal shirt. What are we thinking?
Bit underwhelming. Who did you say? Tierney?
Kieran Tierney, we said. And then ESR.
Bit underwhelming.
Yep.
At least he got a send-off, but whoever buys him is getting a world-class, a Premier League top-level class left back. But I just hope we get decent money for him, because if Xhaka's going for 15 million when we should be getting 30, I hate to think that if Tierney would go for anything less than 30.
30 plus, yeah, 30 plus. Balogun 50 plus or whatever. But yeah, it was weird, because I love, we'll move on from Tierney. We'll go to Xhaka and then ESR. But Granit Xhaka, he's been my player of the season. It was interesting to see the reports that about Bayer Leverkusen coming in, but it kind of makes sense. It's his last big contract. He'll go back to, I know he's from Switzerland, but obviously he made his career in Germany at Borussia Mönchengladbach. So it's, it kind of made sense to do what he's doing. It's interesting. We'll see what happens, but it means that we get money, and he knows that Arsenal are going to reinvest in that particular area with potentially Mason Mount, Declan Rice, and Caicedo. So it's going to be an area that we're going to really be upgrading in the summer, and I'm really looking forward to it. But Xhaka kind of knew it was written in the stars, so I think he's done a really smart move by doing what he's doing and ending it on a positive with the Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
The last few years has been very up and down. To finish it this way, in the way that he's done it, he kind of, his head's held up high. He's done the business for Arsenal this season. Finishes the game in the last game of the season with 2 goals to his name in one of his best attacking contribution seasons in an Arsenal shirt. Definitely the best season ever in an Arsenal shirt. What do we make of Granit Xhaka's career? I know Stan is not a massive fan of Granit Xhaka, and that's fine.
That's being polite about what he said.
Yeah, no, sure. No, yes, it was polite. But, we all felt the same with regards to Granit Xhaka throughout the seasons, especially after the debacle with the captain's armband and telling everyone off. We all got a little bit on the old, let's get Granit Xhaka out of the football club. At the start of this season, we were hoping that Roma were going to come back in for him and hopefully sign him. But he stayed. He did the business. He's ended the season on a high. He's done the business, and hopefully he'll continue to have a good career, and good luck to him. And hopefully we'll upgrade and move on from there. But yeah, what did you make of Granit Xhaka's career as an Arsenal player?
Up, down. When as usual, when Wenger buys players, he goes, "Oh, so you are a holding midfielder, are you? You'll be playing defensive midfielder, and you'll be playing left back." And he went, "Well, hold on a second, I can't do that job. What are you on about?" "No, that's where you'll be playing, much like Mikel Arteta, creative attacking midfielder." "Oh, you're going to be playing defensive midfielder." "What? Well, how about you go out and buy one?" "No." And now we've got hundreds of them. So, considering that he came over as one of Borussia Mönchengladbach's best players, I think he's gone a young player of the season or some award like that in the Bundesliga. I had great hope for him, but in the dark days of the end of the Wenger era, the darker days of the end of the Emery era, and the very dark days of the beginning of the Arteta era, it was all falling around his feet. But he's picked it all up. He's always been the captain on the pitch. Whoever's had the armband, he has always given everything. And he's got full of the passion, which is why he lost his rag and swore at fans and took his shirt off and things like that. But all's well that ends well. Thank you very much, Xhaka. It has been a pleasure to watch you this season. Like Deac says, he's been one of the best players this season, one of the most consistent, and you will leave the club on a high. His first season, we were in the Champions League, and that was our last time we played it. And his last season, he's got us back into the Champions League. So, yeah. Good.
I'm not saying I'm Granit Xhaka's biggest fan. I'm not saying he's going to be an icon or a legend at the club, but I'm just saying that the way that he ended it, the way that he kind of finished his Arsenal career, finishing it on a high, like Danny said, I think is the perfect way to do it, because a lot of the times it can stay sour and just be really bitter. Come on, let's be honest. We've lost some players like Cesc Fabregas, Robin van Persie, Henry. We've lost I'm not putting him in the legend category, but I'm just saying we've lost players that really meant something to us, and the way that they departed was pretty poor. So I'm glad that Xhaka did it the way that he did it, and he finished it on a high. So I'm happy. But anyway, I digress. ESR though, what are we thinking, Danny? He only got a sort of like a 15-minute cameo, as did Fabio Vieira, is another name that's being chucked around about the potential of leaving at the end of the season. And Fabio Vieira had more touches than ESR, even though ESR got an assist. Danny's put up a picture here of the Armoury, which is the big shop at the Arsenal Stadium. It's the main shop. And it's got all the players' numbers here. We've got Martinelli. We've got going down Gabriel Jesus. Can you see there's a little gap between Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus from 11 to 9, going down to Odegaard and then down to Saka. So we've got 11, 9, 8, 7 with a number missing. What number is that? Emile Smith-Rowe. I met him a few years ago. He's a lovely guy. I've got no qualms with him. But, the injury and the inconsistencies and the fact that we've kind of gone up a level now, I think it might show there's signs that the potential possibility of Emile Smith-Rowe leaving at the end of the season is looking more and more likely, Danny. How do you feel about Emile Smith-Rowe's last couple of years, and do you think it's going to be time to call it on his career?
The time when Saka and Martinelli were all basically the same career projection.
Well, Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe have got their song together.
Yeah, that's it. That'll be out the window. But those three came up through the Europa League, made it into the first team, scoring goals, doing magic, and then injury stopped ESR. And so Martinelli and Saka have carried on their career projection and doing wonders, being some of our most best players, first names on the team sheet and all that lot. And injury has stopped ESR this season. So hopefully Arteta will see that and go, still got a place for you here. You'll save us 30 or 40 million pound having to buy a player to play in that position because you can play anywhere. And he'll do what he did with Martinelli, where when he came back, he didn't play him all the time. He had fitness, got him stronger, let him play. And the next season, Martinelli went on to be brilliant. So hopefully that's what's happening with ESR. But I think he'll be playing for Aston Villa next season.
I think so. Obviously, there was that bid that came in for like 25 million pounds from Aston Villa. So we'll see what happens if Aston Villa, put in another bid this summer and see what happens. But yeah, there was rumours and talks that Emile Smith-Rowe is getting retrained to play the Xhaka role. But if someone like Mason Mount comes in, that's it. That's it. Yeah. So we're going to have to see what happens. But yeah, no other real changes in the lineup. Trossard with the most atrocious looking hair. But let's talk about the goals. We'll talk about the goals. We'll just jump in straight away then. First goal from Granit Xhaka. Gabriel Jesus puts the ball in, and Xhaka's completely unmarked, heads the ball directly into the goal. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We thought that was going to be that, wasn't it, Danny? The fact that it was like, oh my God, he's got a goal on his last game of the season. This is incredible. This is brilliant.
Job done.
Yeah, I know, right? Job done and everything like that. But then he scores 3 minutes later with another effort. And to make it 2-0. Granit Xhaka already on course for a hat-trick, which he should have potentially maybe got. Should have completed it. But yeah, overall, very happy the fact that he, as I said, ended the game and ended the season with the way that he did. Saka playing his, as Danny would say, a game that we thought he was probably going to get some rest in. But I think that there was some issues with other players and stuff like that. Obviously, Martinelli's not around.
Or maybe he wanted to do back-to-back 38-game seasons, because that is a hell of an achievement. The last person to do it was Lee Dixon.
He played in every single fixture, didn't he? He played in every single fixture.
And Seaman did it as well, but I'm on about outfield.
Yeah, that's probably true. He probably did ask, but he's just signed the contract. You know, he's going to be at the club. I know there's some talks about the potential fact that there's a release clause in there, but I'm hearing that there isn't a release clause in there.
I hope there bloody isn't.
I hope there isn't. Not the fact that somebody could potentially, exercise that release clause, but the fact that he's requested one doesn't warm me to the heart, and it kind of makes everything.
500 million.
It's not even that. It's the fact that it's the principle of having a release clause. It's not like you're in La Liga where it's pretty much. I think it's like part of the rules that you have to have a release clause in there. And then we got Bukayo. So Bukayo Saka, Trossard getting the assist, but Bukayo Saka with a lovely little bit of football. Drops his shoulder and then just curls it around the keeper with his left foot. We saw Saka coming off at the 60th minute. We see a few more changes, and then Gabriel Jesus. Gets a goal on the 58th minute with Trossard getting another assist. So how many assists does Trossard finish with this season? He only was here for 6 months. Well, half a season. Hold on. We need to.
I think it's going to be. I'll have a look. I think it's.
Have a look. Danny's going to have a little look at how many assists that Trossard's got this season, because I know that we were looking at potentially bringing in Mikhailo Mudryk from Shakhtar, but it didn't end up happening. He had an opportunity for Chelsea. Was it last weekend where he could have put it past the keeper, but ends up fluffing his shots and
got Trossard 10, but some of them were for Brighton. I have to look at his individual things.
Individual. No, he's got to be 10 for Arsenal, right?
Arsenal's is 2, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and he got 3 for Brighton, so he's got 13 all season.
13 assists.
That says 11. What's going on? Let me do that counting again. Oh, they've not included the 2 for Wolves here. So he's got 13 for us, and he got 3 for Brighton.
Okay,
13
all right.
assists.
That's impressive. That's so impressive. Very impressed with him. The signing of Trossard has been a breath of fresh air, Danny.
He's overtaken Saka as the most
so
number
impressive.
of assists. Yeah, so I'm just going to have a look in our Premier League only and then see who had the most assists there. Sometimes transfer market takes all day to update. Most number of Premier League assists for Arsenal this season is... Oh, come on. Trossard, Saka with 11, Trossard with 12.
Right, okay, so Trossard with 12 assists.
What? Yeah, they're making it up.
They're making it up. That's all a load of mumble jumble.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, it could be 10 or it could be 12. I don't know whether.
Anyway, he's got double digits on the assists. You've got the double digits on the assists. That's a fantastic return for a player that we signed for very little money after losing out on Mudryk. So I'm very, very happy with Trossard, especially with his questionable hair today. But Emile Smith-Rowe comes on the 75th minute. I know there's obviously talks about the potential of him leaving. He gets himself an assist for the 5th goal. Doesn't really know too much about it.
No, accidental assist.
Accidental assist. Kiwior getting his first goal for the club. Very happy for Kiwior. I know he had a couple of wobblers over the past few weeks, but overall, he's come in and he's done well. So I'm interested to see how he progresses. At the end of the day, he's always going to be the understudy to Gabriel, the centre-back. Because I'm not going to ever try and pronounce the surname because that's just too much for me. Great call, Peter Coulson. We'd love to see Deac's host Soccer Saturday. Haven't they stopped that? I think they've stopped that, right?
I don't watch.
I'm pretty sure they stopped Soccer Saturday. But yeah, Kiwior getting his goal, which is great. But yeah, ending the game 5-0. But yeah, so we've got what? Let's have a look at the lineup very quickly. So Xhaka's leaving, definitely. We've got Partey, obviously, potentially to leave. Kieran Tierney leaving. Nelson is now potentially going to stay. Eddie with the potential to leave. Emile Smith-Rowe with the potential to leave. Matt Turner, potential to leave. Fabio Vieira, potential to leave. Rob Holding, pretty much going to go. That's pretty much the entire bench. That's pretty much the entire team. There's gonna be a lot of change this summer, guys, and I'm all for it. Bring on the change, Danny. Bring on the change.
It's going to be an exciting season, that is for sure. Someone put in going a little bit further back, but it's a nice point. Aditya said, "This is my first season following the Arsenal, and I'm already sad watching him leave."
Yeah, obviously, it's. I've got another friend who started following football in general this season, and he obviously followed Arsenal because they are the best team in the world. But he's kind of it's like a blessing to be able to watch Arsenal this season. Understand for the past 2 decades, it's not been this. It's not been this at all. It's been
rubbish.
That's where the meme comes from, with a guy sitting in an Arsenal shirt and he just goes, "It's the hope that killed you." That's where the meme comes from. It's from Arsenal. So understand that you're seeing a very, 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 very good season from an Arsenal fan's perspective. So hopefully we can see more of it from here on out. But yeah, what's everybody saying, Danny, in the chat? What we got going on?
They're just talking about you going and doing Soccer Saturday, but not Gillette Soccer Saturday, I think. I don't know. It's on about KT going to Man City, listing the players they want to go.
Obviously, rumours about Cancelo coming to... Yeah, rumours about Cancelo coming to Arsenal from City, rumoured as a potential right-back option. I don't know how that would fit. So maybe as a backup option if the Caicedo deal doesn't go through. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Rudy enjoyed watching Odegaard playing to his greatest ability. And Super says Jorginho was very solid today.
Yeah.
And then Phil and Loki are having fisticuffs because... I think Loki hates Xhaka and he's not having it any other way.
That's fine. I totally understand that. He's I'm just saying it's ended well. I'm just saying it ended well at the end of the day. He could have left in a bad way, but he stayed and he got a Champions League football again.
Yeah. And much more than that, I think. Have we covered all the goals already?
Yeah, we've gone over all the goals. We've gone over the goals. Let's just answer some. If you got any questions, guys, chuck them in the chat. Dash then your question. And we'll answer them right now here live.
Peter Little's got a little bit of insider information. Heard from a coaching staff member that ESI is staying. Well, I hope that person is right, Peter. If he isn't, we will sue you. Phil Macker asks, do you think Jesus needs to get nasty streetwise? He let Wolves players slide in 70 mins-ish when he was running on at goal and win the ball when he should have tapped it or passed it and or won a pen.
I think he's realised that he's not getting the Man City protection from the referees. So who knows? Who knows? I've been saying for months now that I want to sign an out-and-out striker. I think Gabriel Jesus would be a fantastic rotational striker option, as well as somebody that can play out on the wing, which he did for City. He ended up getting the assist today for Granit Xhaka by playing out on the right-hand side and just putting just a very simple cross into the box. With the ball. So we'll have to see what happens. But whether he's going to get nasty and streetwise, I don't know. He needs to do something. I know that he's rejuvenated this Arsenal side, and I'm all for it. But he needs to then take it to that next level again, because at the end of the day, he left City because he wants to be a bigger fish, right? He wants to be the bigger player. He wants to be the bigger player. So this, he needs to now take his career and take it to that next level and be that player that he proclaims to be. And I'm all for it. I'm hoping that he can do it, and I'm sure he can. We'll see what happens. But I'm hoping that we sign ourselves an out-and-out striker in the summer.
Well, that would be nice, but I don't see it, which is sad.
Well, of course. I don't know. But we'll have to see what happens. But yeah.
Right. Next question is from Pete Coulson. Do you agree we lost the league by 6 points? I am grateful that we didn't lose it by 2 points or less, because that would have meant the Lee Mason VAR against Brentford would have cost us the title. I couldn't take that. That's a good point.
That's a great point. They forgot to draw the lines in the Brentford game. But then you've also got the Man United game at the start of the season where there was that challenge on Odegaard on Eriksen, which was drawn back after Martinelli had scored. And then we go and lose 3-1. But we could have potentially gone on and won that game. So I don't want to think about it too much.
It'll only make us sad.
Exactly. And we don't want to do that. Let's end the season on a high, guys.
Good. Right. Next question from Albert in sunny Austria. Would you take any players from Leicester that have now been relegated?
Maddison is someone I'd take, depending on how much he wants.
Moody though, isn't he?
Sure.
He's one of them that believes his shit don't stink.
Well, then I only see him as a player. I don't know anything about him on a personality level. Maybe you're right, Danny. I don't know. Listen, I'm not biting the hand. I'm not going. You need to go and sign Maddison right now. I'm not really that. But if there was an option to bring in Maddison, also if we do lose ESR, and the number 10 shirt becomes available, if they give it to Maddison, then I'll just retire as an Arsenal fan. But Maddison would be an interesting signing. Barnes would probably go somewhere as well. Tielemans is already gone. But yeah, we're past Tielemans level. But Maddison's the only real player at Leicester that's got something about him, really. So yeah, Maddison's probably the only one. As I said, but depending on how much we spend on him and how much he wants on wages, also commitment time. I want less than 75 grand a week. I want no number 10 shirt, and I want squad player status, not regular starter or first. I'm talking football manager here, but squad player status. That's about as far as I'd give him.
Right, fair enough. Agree with that. I wouldn't personally have him. Don't like the cut of his jib.
That's fair enough.
Boy 10 says, why does Arteta hate giving debuts to academy graduates? Manuare was a vanity project in hindsight, a self-pat on the back for Arteta, because none of them came on today. If I have a little look at who was on the bench, the only players he brought on was Reece Nelson, Vieira, Smith Rowe, Nketiah and Tierney, and the players that were on the bench that yet again didn't get a go, Turner, Walters, Bandera. And I was looking at something, where would that have been? I think it was here. Stop bringing me adverts. I'm not interested. I'm not buying your shit. In the squad this season, this is an interesting point. Roll Waters, right back, has been on the bench 8 times. Kozia Dubry, right winger, 5 times. Matt Smith, 3 times. Pepe, twice. Bandera, twice. Manuari once. And Karl Hein once. And Butler, Odegaard once. And Souza once. So, you got to be thinking Raul Waters 8 times. Just chuck me on for 5 minutes, Gov.
I don't understand why he didn't come on.
Hmm.
Don't get it. Maybe, obviously, it's it's a catch-22, isn't it? You know, Rue Waters, I know he's going to get his appearance and stuff, but getting ESR out there, Fabio Vieira out there, kind of Kieran Tierney out there, showing them off a bit. It's like a car showroom, isn't it? We're just showing them off a little bit. Hopefully, we can rack up their price up a little bit more. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, he doesn't do the old. But I think it's the fact that we've gone past that level now. I think we've gone past that level of just off. We're not that club now. We're challenging for the Champions League and we're challenging for the title simultaneously. We've gone past that. I understand where people are coming from. I'd love to see it as well, but Arteta needs to be ruthless, and people want to see that ruthlessness, because when you want, if the player's not doing what they need to be doing, he needs to be ruthless and make those changes. So I want him to be ruthless, and if it means that emotion needs to be put aside, I will take it. I would rather take I'd rather take his mind than his heart in certain situations. If he needs to do the right thing, and it means maybe upsetting a couple of people, whatever, or upsetting the cart to a degree, if it means doing it for the greater good, then we'll see what happens. This summer's going to be great, guys. Walters is going to get game time in the pre-season, and we'll see what happens. We can see what he can offer there, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Final question, because I want to go. I've got 2 podcasts to edit and upload. Ooh, lovely. Pete says, would Deac get his hair cut in order to replace Jeff Stelling on the Sky Sports Soccer Saturday next year?
All I read is comments saying, Deac, cut your hair. What's hair? Deac, cut your hair. You fuckers. All of you are fuckers. Listen, I'm trying to balance it out with Danny. Yeah? Danny's got no hair, right? And a big beard. I've got the luscious locks and the stubble. We're the yin and yang, okay? We're the yin and yang.
Well, there you go then. Pete saying thanks to everybody for keeping ABW fun and relevant. There you go. Master Gunner says, just got here. Fabulous season, above all expectations. And Boy 10 says, City are still giving debuts despite challenging for everything. Phil says his favourite podcasters this season is me, Stan, and then you. The rest can feck off. I think they have. I actually got Karl into that, and Femi and Josh. Can't ignore them. Mullet Deeks look nice, says Loki, a man who is a child of the 70s, so he's probably had a...
Yeah, no, this is a mullet, but it's growing out of a mullet. But it did start... I had a mullet for like a year plus.
It is indeed. Right, I think that's it. We're all done. 32 minutes, the quickest post-game show we've ever done, because...
Well, we did over 2 hours in the watch game. So, guys, if you haven't already thumbs up the video on YouTube's, please go and do that, guys. Share this around. This is obviously a short podcast, but it is a thank you podcast to everyone that's jumped in. You're all freaking awesome. We're seeing all these similar names that we see every single week. We commit to this time to do this, and we enjoy it, but you guys jump in off your own volition and jump in and engage with us and enjoy this season as well. So we appreciate you more than you know. We really, really do. So thank you. And hopefully we can see you all throughout the summer. We're going to try and do podcasts. So I'll go over this again because there's more of you here. But we're going to be trying to do podcasts throughout the summer for every new signing that we make. We'll do some podcasts potentially as well for players that are going to be leaving, maybe looking over their career at the Arsenal. Granit Xhaka being probably one of the first ones. We'll have a Granit Xhaka podcast. Stan will love it. We're also gonna do some, preseason game podcasts. We'll have some, late night podcasts. We've got some things coming in the woodworks. We'll have a cook around, me and Danny. We'll figure out some stuff and we'll make some interesting stuff for you to enjoy throughout the summer. But yeah, thanks to everybody that's jumped in. Appreciate it. Make sure you share this around. If you're on Twitch, hello, thank you for joining us on that platform for all of this season, and on Twitter as well. I'm hearing that Elon Musk is going to sort out the Periscope coding and hopefully bump it up and turn it into something even better, so we can use Twitter as a streaming platform and not just kind of like a subsidiary or whatever. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, we finished the season second. We went toe-to-toe with Manchester City, the team that are going to go on to win the treble in a season where they had the T1000. Danny's quote, the T1000 up front in Erling Haaland. I stole it. Oh, well, they're fair. We're stealing it off them. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, thanks to Danny for jumping in and doing all the business as per usual. It's super appreciated. The button monkey, as you call yourself, Danny, where we can find you on the Twitter sphere. Please let us know.
At the _GFP, but don't bother. I either tweet stuff to annoy people or bad takes on football. Thank you very much to you for stepping in and doing all these post-game shows and a few others. Thanks to Karl for doing loads of wonderful tweets and hosting the main podcast. I'll be lost without Karl. And thanks to Josh. And Ellis has made a comeback, so he'll be doing more stuff soon. And Femi and Nick. And I think, who else has... Richard has done a few. John's done a few. Chris has done a few. Jeff did about 2 and then did a bunk. And who else is there? I think Jock has done a couple. James has done some. I think Mr. Cowan actually done one as well, which is a busy man. Nice to get him on there. And Stan has done some. Thank you very much to them as well. And Glenn and Mr. Waffles and Fran. Fran said she's up for one. And then we had a lovely set of one-on-ones with we had Stan and Sophie and Tom and Harry. They all did them, and Mike was doing the Sunday roasts. We'll be back doing those. He's over in the UK at the moment, but he's going to be back in America. We'll start doing those again in the summer. And like Deac says, we had a chat before the show. Going to plan out some stuff. Karl wants to do some stuff over the summer. Josh is doing a podcast on flowers and jaunty hats because that's his speciality now. And Brighton. So I think Josh is a little bit sad that our away kit isn't blue and white stripes because he'd be over the moon if it was. So, yeah, that's it. If I've missed you, that's my old age, so don't worry about it. Deac, close the show.
Sure, things. So I don't think there's really anything else to say. It's been a great season. Let's enjoy the summer. Let's push on and win the fucking title, shall we? Come on, you Arsenal.
Do I press the button now?
Press the button!
As soon as I scored that goal, I was fucking livid. Get down, dog. Splendid business.
He nearly caught the bloody thing. What are you talking about?
So I've just eaten a full quiche. Well, you don't often see them at it. So when you see them in the supermarket, they need to be swagged, microwaved immediately and get the brown sauce on and bosh, Bob's your own